I'm struggling with my fiancé's toxic best friend, whose constant torment is affecting my mental health. Our relationship feels at risk, and I worry about what will happen before the wedding. My fiancé has the biggest heart and is a recovering people pleaser, which I can relate to since I was one too. We've been together for over 5 years, but recently I've noticed his friend making hurtful comments toward me. This friend seems to target those who are most sensitive, and I've become his favorite victim. Initially, I tried to brush it off, but the insults became more elaborate, including outright lies about me. One time, he called me in front of everyone, including my fiancé, just to yell that I was a bad friend before hanging up. The situation has taken a toll on my mental health, leading to a breakdown where I finally shared my feelings with my fiancé. He promised to address it with his friend and claimed he would be more supportive. However, after a second breakdown, I learned that the friend hadn't truly apologized. He just expressed regret over how I felt. I'm too sensitive to appreciate his humor right now, so I told my fiancé that my friendship with this person is over. I want no contact from him, even if it means missing events I would otherwise enjoy. My fiancé agrees that this friend is trying to provoke me, and even if we tried to reach out, we can't trust him not to treat me poorly. He asked if this meant he had to quit the project they're working on together. And while I would never demand that, it hurts that my well-being isn't enough for him to cut ties. I know he's not confrontational, but this isn't just about conflict, it's about having my back, and I can't be with someone who isn't on my side. This friend is getting married to my best friend soon, and we're both supposed to be in the wedding. But just hearing his name makes me feel sick. The one time I saw him since everything escalated, he was overly nice, which felt insincere. A few days later, I broke down again, realizing I might spend my life feeling anxious and on guard around him, even when he's not directly with me. I don't know how to handle this. I'm struggling to come to terms with the fact that my fiancé is willing to lie for his problematic friend, but won't stand up for me. It hurts deeply, especially since this friend was meant to be the best man at our wedding. We haven't talked much about wedding plans lately, and if he insists on including this friend, I may have to call off the wedding for my own peace of mind. I love my fiancé and admire his big heart, but he surrounds himself with some terrible people, and I'm unsure if he'll set any boundaries before it becomes too overwhelming for me. I just want clarity on this situation so I can stop feeling guilty and miserable. If your fiancé won't stand up for you, it's more than just being a people pleaser. He might be a doormat. And her best friend isn't much of a friend either, considering the problematic friend is marrying her. She should be telling him to back off too. I never thought I'd update out of embarrassment, but I wanted to share that my partner really came through for me. Since my last post, we've communicated a lot and worked on finding a resolution. He took accountability for how things got so bad, and he understands that it's been a long-standing issue that needed to be addressed. There's a lot more to this than I initially realized. After extensive discussions, my partner and I decided he should send a firm but kind message to his friend, addressing hurtful behaviors that needed to stop. He drafted the initial message, which perfectly articulated what I needed to express, shifting our focus from conflict to teamwork. We worked together to refine it, aiming for clarity without hostility. However, the friend's reaction was completely unexpected. He exploded, insulting my partner and denying the events as I described them. He demanded a private meeting with a mediator and even threatened to involve my partner's parents, which led us to stop taking him seriously. We had to warn my partner's parents about the potential visit, advising them not to open the door. Throughout this, we remained respectful, seeking basic human decency without resorting to insults. Ultimately, my now ex-best friend sent a lengthy message, fully supporting her partner and sharing her version of events. It was a chaotic situation, but I feel good about how we handled ourselves. The story has diverged so dramatically from reality that all I can do is laugh. We've shifted from tears and disbelief to outright amusement at the absurdity. I initially thought she was brainwashed, but I realize now they're a perfect match, and I genuinely wish them the best. I'm sending one final message to clarify things, which my partner and I agreed was better than just ghosting. We're moving on completely and making it clear that there will be zero contact indefinitely. We both deserve better friends, and we see that clearly now. I'm relieved to have learned my friend's true colors before spending $800 on a hotel for their wedding. Thank you to everyone who was supportive. My partner and I are prioritizing ourselves and taking this week to process everything and grieve the friendships we thought would last. Conveniently, we have a vacation planned at my partner's family cottage, which should help us heal. We already feel stronger, and I appreciate those who offered constructive advice. I've made my peace with the rest, and unless something outrageous happens again, this chapter is closed and ready to collect dust. It sounds like your ex-friends were remnants of your people-pleasing days. A fresh start is well deserved, especially before your wedding. Good riddance. Wishing you both peace. Hey everyone, I promised I wouldn't update again, but there's been a significant development. If anyone's truly invested in this situation, I found it helpful to type this out, so I'll give it another go. Apologies in advance for the length of this. A few weeks ago, he showed his true colors by sending my partner a message at 11 a.m. on a Monday that was incredibly unhinged. To summarize, he claimed my partner is in an abusive relationship and should leave me for his own happiness. He stated he has evidence to back this up, and that this message was what he would have said in person if they'd met earlier. He expressed concern that sending the message might worsen things for my partner if I saw it. He declared that I am someone he can never forgive, and that he never wants to associate with me again. He ended by saying he hopes my partner will leave me so he can apologize for breaking up the band they were in together. This is a lot to process. I know you don't know me, but I'm definitely not abusing my partner. I shouldn't even have to clarify that. This guy is completely cut out of our lives now, not that he was much in it to begin with. Given this context, I'd like to share some things he did over the past year that I didn't recognize at the time, thinking I was just being overly sensitive. My partner and I joined some friends to play a game called Lethal Company online. I've put in many hours and know the monsters well, so I was confused when I was unexpectedly taken out by 3 game days in a row. I noticed that as soon as I entered the facility and split from the group, I kept dying quickly. I joked that I'd be having a lot more fun if that weren't the case, and someone mockingly suggested it must be a skill issue. After a few more deaths, I managed to explore a bit before meeting my end. I asked if anyone had the Control Company mod, which lets the server host play as the monsters. Then suddenly, they had to leave, and the lobby disbanded. I never raised my suspicions with anyone because it would have been my word against theirs, and I had no solid proof. But when I finally mentioned it to my partner weeks later, they recalled staying on the ship and going AFK several times, which matched up with my deaths in-game. There was also a time when we saw the host at a local show. My partner called him out about his comments affecting me, but I don't think I conveyed it well. At the show, he sat next to me, not my partner, and wouldn't stop touching my arm, repeatedly asking if I was enjoying it. His grin felt exaggerated and unsettling. If I had just hurt a friend's partner, I wouldn't act that way. I'd at least offer an apology. Instead, it felt like he was gloating about getting away with it, which made both me and my partner uncomfortable. We discussed it on the drive home and agreed on how unsettling it was. At her place, we decided to head to mine to hang out with my partner. Just before we left, my friend asked if I knew our mutual friend's big secret. I didn't, and since I wasn't close with this friend, I suggested they should just tell me. My friend insisted it should wait until we got to my place because my partner didn't know yet. My friend's boyfriend kept insisting that the secret was huge and that I would freak out when I found out. I joked that since we were in separate cars, my friend might spill the beans on the way. He looked her straight in the eye and said he'd be genuinely upset if she told me before telling my partner. When we arrived, it turned out the big secret was that our friend was dating someone. Later, I found out he had called my partner as soon as he got in his car to share that neither I nor my friend knew, and they wanted to make a big reveal together. My partner had actually known for weeks, and the group had discussed it several times without me since I wasn't close to this friend. I felt totally baited. My partner had no idea about any of this until I explained the conversation, and my friend didn't say a word in my defense. Once everything unfolded, I typed out exactly why this was ridiculous, but they both refused to acknowledge it. In response, I dyed my hair blue. My first outing with the new hair was with the whole group, and I went all out on my makeup and outfit. I was really frustrated by it all. I'm not exaggerating when I say he made over 20 jokes about my hair in just 15 minutes. It felt like every time he interacted with me, he was just trying to make fun of my hair. If you've ever had blue hair, you know the kinds of jokes he was throwing out. I laughed along for a bit. I can handle some banter since it's part of my friendships. But after about 20 jokes, I told him it was getting old and asked if he had anything nice to say. His response? More jokes and a big grin, implying I was being too sensitive. This guy has been trying to drive me crazy for at least a year, and it almost worked. My partner and I have talked a lot about it, and while many people have their opinions, it's been hard on both of us. He wanted to salvage their 20-year friendship, but he realizes now that wasn't possible. We both know we don't deserve that kind of treatment. If this guy had been a better friend to my partner, maybe things could have been different, but it's clear this is just who he is. He's known for being a jerk and lying about it, and there's no room for that in our lives. I doubt he can top this message, so this will be my last update. My partner and I are moving forward from this. My friend has been completely brainwashed by him, and I've made my peace with it. She can have him. Thanks to everyone who showed understanding. I hope we can move on from this soon. It seems like he was jealous and felt threatened by my relationship with my fiancé, possibly believing I was taking his best friend away. Just to clarify, did you start dating your fiancé before or after your ex-best friend got involved? If it was after, he might have been trying to punish you or keep a hold on your fiancé. It's also possible that your ex-best friend had feelings for him, as his behavior resembles that of a jealous ex. I'm not suggesting your fiancé reciprocated those feelings, but it's worth considering. I truly hope you both can focus on your wedding now that the toxic people are out of your lives. Wishing you a beautiful and unforgettable day ahead. If your ex-best friends cause any more issues, let me know, but I genuinely hope they don't. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.